It is time, a special time slot for a special episode with some special people. My name is Ashes, and with me is Hunter JJX. How you doing today, man?
Dude, I'm doing great, dude. Had a lot of fun this weekend. Lots of exciting Halo to watch and like check out this weekend. Lots of sick matches, obviously, and we have like the Pro League starting off. It's like a good time to be a Halo fan, Halo non-competitor that can just take it all in and not stress out. No, it was a great weekend. Tomorrow's my oldest son's birthday, so he's turning 6. So, getting everything all prepped and ready for that. Today was the last stream of June. Also happened to be my partner anniversary stream. It's also my 6-year anniversary of being full-time stream. So just a pretty epic weekend. Lots of fun. But Nick, I wanted to chat with you. Offline we were talking a little bit, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that they're either, team Spotify or they're team Apple Music. But you happen to be from a different team. So let us know what team you're repping music-wise and the playlist check-in, what you've been listening to.
So I've been on YouTube Music lately because for some reason the Spotify app on Windows just takes up so much PC resources for no reason. Like I don't know if it's like the background video that it plays for some songs, like where it'll play like the same 10, 15 seconds of a music video. Yeah. But for some reason, like whenever it switches songs, my whole PC would and like I've got a good PC. Like I've got I think like a 14900K. I've got a 4900 like graphics card. I've got 32 gigs of RAM. I'm chilling in terms of specs. I should be able to handle Spotify with no problems. And for some reason, it's just it's struggling. Like I'm trying to handle Shopify, not Spotify. So it's I don't know what's going on there, but YouTube Music, man. And it's like because I have YouTube Premium, it's already there, it's included, and the playlist generation is so much better than what I've been getting out of Spotify lately. Like Spotify, you were saying it too, just the same old stuff.
It's been boring me to death, bro. I've been like, give me something new. I'm always looking for the next thing. I'm always looking for that next music high, like that next dopamine hit of hearing a song for the first time, being like, dang, what is this? Spotify doesn't do that for me. I love Spotify for what it does do, but in terms of like discovering new artists, like it leaves a lot to be desired. So also too, like you want to trade PC rigs because you got like I got a 3090, you got a 4090, I got a 13900K, you got a 14900K. You just had to one up me in like every way possible.
Yeah, I just downloaded your spec sheet and then went to Micro Center and was like, hey, do one better than this, do one generation newer than all of these. But what have you been listening to? What's on your playlist?
Actually, let me it's funny because like I was gonna pull up my Spotify for this section and I just closed it because you were talking about how resource intensive it is. So I just pulled it back up. Oh dude, I am like this is going down a little bit of the butt rock category, which I have no shame in saying. There are certain bands that just like do it for me in the butt rock thing, and I am so excited for 3 Days Grace. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's like this is gonna sound really controversial. I might be more pumped for the new 3 Days Grace record than I was for the new Linkin Park record, and I loved that record, and I was really excited that band came back. But like, 3 Days Grace bringing back Adam is like the best full circle band move I've seen in like a decade. All 3 of the songs they've put out as their singles have been absolute freaking bangers. So listening to 3 Days Grace, and then I was, actually came up on my YouTube recommended after I was listening to one of the 3 Days Grace videos, the new Muse song. Have you heard this thing, Nick?
No, I haven't.
Bro, the new Muse song. I want to tell you what it's called because I want you to listen to it after this. It is straight up. It's called Unraveling. It is a gent song. Like Homeboy's playing an 8-string in the video. It sounds like they collabed with Mick Gordon or something. It's got like all the Muse synthy stuff, all his clean, falsetto harmony stuff that you would expect from Muse. But the song is heavy and rips, bro. And that came up and I was like, yeah, dude, because Muse has always been like a heavy adjacent band. Like there's certain bands in the scene where it's like Breaking Benjamin, right? They're like heavy adjacent. You can tell when you see their shows and they're playing breakdowns and stuff that these bands obviously really like heavy music in the scene, but they're kind of in their mainstream box. So they don't venture out as much, but they've always been really great gateway bands like Breaking Benjamin or Linkin Park or 3 Days Grace have always been bands where it's like you listen to that and then you might fall down a slippery slope, and before you know it, you're listening to August Burns Red. You know what I mean? That's what happened to me. So all the butt rock stuff, 3 Days Grace and some Muse for me this week.
Did you check out the new Bill Murray song?
No, but I saw it had another wild name.
Yeah, it did. I will say the riff in it is like the song is sick. The riff in it, I was like, am I listening to All That Remains? Like that's what it
Oh,
felt like.
it's like
But then
metalcore,
it's
like riffage style, like.
yeah, like there's points in the song where like if you listen to it, like just close your eyes and tell me you don't hear All That Remains.
I'm gonna do it as soon as we get off the
Like
show. So
from
yeah,
the 2 weeks era of All
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
Remains. Yeah.
yeah. The best era, the Guitar Hero
Yeah.
era.
Exactly. All right, so we got to burn through a lot of topics in a
We
very
do.
short amount of time.
We do.
So let's start off with what was just like an hour ago announced, and that is the last major of the season,
Mm-hmm.
the
There it
HCS
is.
Phase Major in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 3rd through 5th. Tickets available at this
Where's
link.
my calendar? Where's my calendar? Where's my calendar?
Use your code complexity for 10% off and to help support us. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they finally announced it. I'm glad that we finally have dates and can actually put it on calendars.
Yes, dude.
Last major of the season. What do you think?
I mean, Charlotte for me is always super nostalgic. Charlotte 2007 was my first tournament that I ever went to. So
Oh, okay.
I always like going back there. Took them long enough. Like, gosh dang, dude. Like, do you guys not know that people got schedules and lives and like, I get it in terms of scheduling and booking a venue and staffing and all that stuff. Like, I get all that, but it doesn't hold up anybody else except for you, Face. So like, get your crap together. But I mean, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for another major in Charlotte. I'm stoked to have more opportunities to hang with the Halo scene. That's like really close to Worlds.
Yeah,
It's like
weeks.
3 weeks or 2 weeks apart. 3 weeks apart. How do you feel about that?
For reasons that are not announced yet, I am a little bit stressed by it. But I mean, like I can not announce, but like hint why. Like we always do a specific.
I was
tournament
gonna say, yeah,
before
us,
Worlds, and we have plans to do said tournament again.
Yeah.
And so this just makes the crunch of like the parameters a little bit tighter, but yeah, it's exciting. Like I said, I'm glad it's announced. I'm glad it's Charlotte. Atlanta was cool, but I liked Charlotte way more when we were there. I will say, I hope they put us in a different hotel, because the hotel that we were in was the one that was right across from like the NASCAR museum or Hall of Fame or whatever. And I guess that's like where all of like the street racers and whatnot gather at 3 a.m. and do burnouts in the intersections. So
Oh, great. Yeah.
yeah,
Wonderful. You love to see that.
those are some pretty exhausting, sleepless nights. So hopefully we get a different hotel, but otherwise Charlotte was sick.
Was the last time we went there for that? When was the last time we went to Charlotte? Was it the first event or was that Rally? That was Rally, right? First Infinite event?
I think Raleigh was the first event. It was like season 2 was Charlotte.
Oh,
yeah.
So I don't even think I've been, dude. Like I haven't been back since 2007. So 18 years in the making for me. I'm looking at my calendar right now. I'm not booked out. Like I'm gonna be there. Sick.
Perfect.
That'll be dope. All right. Continue. We got a lot to cover.
So speaking of phase news, they also, one of them announced yesterday, or I guess it was earlier today, but kind of yesterday as well. King J coaching phase.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone saw this. I was kind of surprised when he randomly messaged me. He's like, yo, I'm coaching phase now. Let's schedule some scrims.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a great pickup. There's no surprise there. For me, King J is one of Snake Bite's best friends. They went to like middle school together.
Mm-hmm.
So they've come all the way up together. And I will say, the only, like, if you could even say it's a negative, the only thing I would say is a negative about this is I still feel like he had even more left in the tank. Like he's still a really good player too. That guy fries. So but obviously any chance you get to be with an org like FaZe, Optic, any of the big ones, you take it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what he brings to the squad. Last weekend, not their best showing, so he's going to have to lock it in a little harder. They got a little bit more work to do. But no, couldn't be more excited for the guy. He's a great dude. Love the fit, and he's going to bring the vibes to them for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you that he had more to give. I mean, he was playing on that NV roster before they kind of finished the pieces of the puzzle and came together. I think he played like one open with them maybe.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that was like he kind of got pulled out of retirement and then went right back into it afterwards because he got dropped. But he looked good. Like
He
I
looked
think
great. Yeah.
everyone was surprised a little bit in terms of like just he didn't look like he missed a beat. Like that retirement did no damage to him. He was right in step with everybody on the team and looked solid. So
I would go as far to say is I think he's still in his prime. Like I
Oh,
think
yeah?
he's the best he's ever been, which is like crazy. But job security, a little salary, I'm sure, and those sorts of things. It makes sense from a responsible adult perspective why he took that move. Who knows? Maybe someone, breaks a finger or something. He has to get on the sticks. All of a sudden, he's playing for FaZe. You just never know. We've seen it happen before. Cough, Lethal. I mean, Lethal's whole
Yeah.
thing started with something being an emergency sub. So, but no, love the fit and love to see him there in that spot.
Yeah, I agree. Congrats to King J. All right, last thing, because I think they're getting ready to start the match that we want to watch party. Let's just 30 seconds cover the HCS Open Series number 7. I'm going to share the bracket. We'll start at the top. Optic obviously doing their thing, making their run. We ran into that wall hard, got 3-0'd. We beat Omit the round before 3-0. So GG's to Omit, GG's to Optic. Both really solid teams. Omit's actually looking better and better, which is really cool to see out of those guys.
I mean, they pushed us in that qualifier, dude. I was kind of nervous for us for a second. I was like, please, now is not the time for them to all of a sudden have our number.
Yeah. I think this was the only match that I was surprised by, this 6-8 roster, which was 2 people from Shopify and Psycho and Frosty, plus 2 up-and-coming AMs in Sirion and Lil Gators.
Little Gators, yeah. Little Gators.
Yeah, the matchmaking demon, apparently. Too high of a rank for me to ever play against. But yeah, taking down Envy 3-1 was impressive. I don't know if Envy just underestimated them or what, but
I think it's when you take these players that are unbelievably talented. Like I would say Sirion and Lil Gators are both like in that super talented kind of space where they haven't quite broken through yet. And usually when players like that haven't broken through, it's because they haven't figured out the mind for the game yet. And so when you have a player like Frosty that has and Cycle who both have the mind for the game, and they're just like spitting out like play calls and IGLing, and they just have to focus on their talent and not making the right or wrong read, like they can do it. You can do great things, and we saw just how talented they can be because they pushed it so far into the bracket, and beating Envy was super super impressive. And Sirion and Gators were not getting carried by any means. Like they were absolutely pulling their weight and put on a show.
Yeah, and just because the match is starting, so I'm going to quickly run through this. I'm not going to give you a chance to talk.
Good.
TSM has finally showed up. They got 3-0'd by SSG, but they took down Unreal Nightmare, so it looks like they need to get the dust knocked off, the cobwebs brushed off, and get their thing going for scrims. Cloud9 had a good showing. They beat FaZe 3-2. They beat SSG 3-1, so good to see them doing their thing. Unfortunately, they also ran into a very strong green brick wall. And then in the lower bracket, we had nothing too surprising. We beat Unreal Nightmare. Envy beat Dark Inside. We lost to Envy in a close series, even though it was 3-1. It was pretty close. Space Station 3-0's them. TSM beats Omit, but then loses to FaZe. FaZe beats the pickup team. Space Station 3-0's FaZe. Donnie Suppress had a sick overkill on recharge.
Unreal.
Space Station beats Cloud9. And then, of course, the Green Wall stands tall in the grand finals and beats Space Station rather convincingly 3-1. That was the open series. That locks Space Station in as that fourth pool play team, Pool D, by the way, in case anybody didn't realize that.
Really? Okay. I had no idea.
Because they lost their spots due to the roster changes, so it was basically up to points by the time they register. So once registration closes for the pool play qualifier, whoever has the most points gets that fourth spot. Obviously, nobody's going to gain points between now and then, so Space Station is the fourth seed. All right, you ready to watch party?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Share this tab and throw a little sound on it. Oh, they're doing a listening too. That's cool. What do you think about this Pro League, by the way?
I like that they made adjustments. And honestly, the way I view it is these teams are going to be scrimming anyways. It's just like paid scrims. It's kind of like money match scrims, which I think is fun. Like give the players something to play for and incentivize that. Also, too, like for a team like FaZe where, I don't know how good of scrims they are getting consistently, like to be in a pro league like this where they're going to be getting tons of reps and like they have to get the reps, like it's going to help them out quite a bit. Optic, to go back to that open series, they just jump back in and look so scary. Like
Yeah.
So dominant. I don't know if they got the CDL champs buff or whatever, and that just like came over to Halo as well. But like a team like Optic now having this Pro Series, like it's just going to make like extend their lead even more. You know what I mean, over the comp.
Mm.
And so I think, you know, for teams like FaZe and Shopify, like you got to absolutely maximize the reps during this Pro League time.
Yeah. Now, question for you then, since we didn't get the chance to talk about it, but we obviously on Friday had the Pro League qualifiers for those last two spots. Our team went undefeated, even though we went to a Game 5 and a Game 7 against Omit and Cloud9, respectively. And then Omit ended up beating Cloud9. So Cloud9 is not in this Pro League, and I think that's surprising to a lot of people because they're a team that you would almost consider a shoe-in, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, the scene right now is honestly so talented. Basically 1 through 9 now in NA, right? Like outside of that, I don't see any of the 10 through 16 teams breaking in. I mean, we saw Ascending Baseline have a really great weekend, so I guess I'm in it already. But yeah, Cloud9, they just happen to be the not on their best day, like during those qualifiers. But to also give us some props, like I was really proud of our roster the way those guys responded, because we've lost some heartbreakers this season, last season, like in series past, where it comes down to a Game 5 or a Game 7, and we just don't have the ice. So to see our squad ice up not once but twice on that day and secure the Pro League spot, that gets me really excited. And again, like those reps for us, I think are going to be absolutely massive. So yeah, really interesting to see Cloud9 not make it. I'm just gonna say they didn't get the same version of Boo Boo on Friday that they got on Sunday, because that man was going off during the Open. I don't know if he like losing that Pro League spot lit a fire in him or what, but he was playing really great for them.
Yeah, I imagine it probably lit a fire into that whole team because it's got to be tough, you know, like knowing that this is going on. I mean, this is a good amount of prize money.
The practice they're not going to get,
practice,
like,
the exposure, like it's a whole lot of positive things for every team involved, which is awesome. And I want to give a big shout out and thank you to LVT and to Shopify who, you know, put this together.
Gosh,
but it's
I mean, look at FaZe right now, dude. FaZe is up 2-1 over Optic right now. They're looking great. I mean, and we've seen glimpses of this, man, where there's moments where like, okay, this is what this FaZe roster is going to look like, you know, and we're seeing some of that right now, like being up 2 on an Optic, but also like kind of dominating the map. Look at the way they have Optic kind of trapped in white here. The full collapse comes in 2. We're going to go down 3, 4, go down for Optic there. So FaZe doing everything right so far to start this start the Pro League off. And this is something I want to see, right? Because they've been up and down all year. Oh my goodness! But yeah, Lucid's been absolutely dominating. Kind of returning to the form that we would expect to see. Leda foremost gets his face taken off, bound, runs away for his life there. Yeah, this is what this FaZe roster is capable of. I mean, 20-8 for Lucid, unbelievable. Yeah. And for me, it's seeing Snakebite kind of in the mix in terms of like, he's pulling his weight right now, and they are currently dominating Optic in their group effort.
Yeah, this is really impressive, especially out of Lucid. I mean, this is what I think FaZe has been missing for the last couple weeks, is just a player to like step up and take over a series. Like we've seen with SSG, Suppress can step up and take over, Stellar can step up and take over, even Falcated can step up and take over the series. And we haven't seen anyone really do that yet for FaZe. So it's good to see Lucid do it, because I know that's going to shut up all the haters that he is inevitably garnered due to performances lately. And then also, I wonder if he's just like, you know, this is his former team, like former org. I wonder if there's just like a little extra gas in the tank, you know, like went up to a higher tier of gameplay just because of that. That was a clean hill though, and that's the hardest hill to cap.
Yeah, that was a clean one. Well, it traditionally has been the hardest one, but nowadays, like how players understand it, you could trap red and then they can't even leave red to get out. Like I've seen that bottom go in a hurry as well. But to go back to Lucid, like I've had the privilege, I get to run matchmaking with him quite a bit. He's one of the morning grinders, so we play together, and I'm up like 200 CSR right now thanks to this dude. But there's just something like different about his energy at the moment. Like he just seems very driven. Like even when we're playing matchmaking, he's serious. He's like on that kind of like, I want to win everything and be the best I can be sort of grind. It's not just like you know how like sometimes when you're in a matchmaking session, you're kind of just going through the motions and whatever, and like just trying to like stream and pass time or whatever. Like for Lucid, he's been very much like engaged, locked in, even every single matchmaking game we're playing. So like I definitely see him coming different, and like right now currently double positive, leading the slaves by quite a bit. But Optic, this is the thing about this team, bro. They just, even when they go down, they always find a way to claw their way back in. They're about to go back to back perfect hills in Force Hill 7.
Yeah, it's never over when you're going against Optic. You can't ever take your foot off the gas. You can't ever go like, oh, okay, we're up 3-1. We can take it a little bit easier. Like, it's always going to be tough to close out a match against Optic because they have so much clutch factor on their team. So I think it's really important that FaZe stops staggering. It seems like they're kind of staggering a little bit here, a lot of their spawns, and they're not getting themselves a good chance to like break some of these setups that Optic is gathering up together and, getting hills off of.
Well, it's hard, right, Nick? Like when you're rolling and everything you do is the right play and you got maximum team help and you dominate 3 hills in a row, and then all of a sudden the other team, kind of starts getting it together. It's hard to switch gears out of like anything I do is going to work right now and get back into the more like calculated, like let's make a play here together type of like mode, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
because I could totally understand and relate why we started seeing FaZe kind of cycle, because prior to that they were all making those individual pushes and it was working because they were like linking up and in the play and making it happen. But then with Optic kind of locking it in, now it's time for FaZe to also lock back into that simple, more meticulous Halo. But as we say that, 2 more going down for FaZe now, and Optic primed. We got the shock rifle in the hands of, in my opinion, the best player in the game at the moment, Renegade. And he's about to, oh, here we go.
Oh, boy.
He's about to ruin this whole play. Yep, there goes 1. Here goes 2. No. Yeah, and that's GG.
Game.
Yeah. And you see him shaking his head left and right like, no. That's the end of it right there. Like, so Optic, unbelievable. But FaZe, we saw some really great signs from them in that first game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too defeated if I was FaZe, but I know in the moment, like having been there,
that sucks.
It's tough. Like up 3-1 and you choke it to lose 4-3. That's always tough. Because you start thinking about like, okay, if I had just not pushed, or if I had just gotten this kill, or if I had just won this piv, like all of the little what ifs. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, the thing with Optic, like I think the way that they beat other teams is part of why they've been so successful, because they like rip your heart out, right? They win all those like 49-49s, or like you've got the hill 90% of the way capped and then they take it from you. Like it feels like, I don't know, have you ever had like the wind knocked out of you? Like you fall on your back or something and you just like can't breathe and you're just like, oh, like it just sucks everything out of you. It feels like that's what Optic does to every team they play in real time. And we knew that they were capable of that early on in the year, but to see like the form that they've reached, especially in the last Open, where like I think they dropped 1 game for the entire tournament, that's psychotic, dude. Like that, let's be real, that's ridiculous. So yeah, I want to see what the answer that Shopify has, because they've been the closest team to kind of match this Optic roster. But also too, like as I say that, I remember like Space Station's been looking really freaking good too. So it'll be interesting to see how those teams match up. But Optic has still kind of been ahead above everybody else.
Yeah, I think one of the exciting things about this Pro League is because there's that $1,000 prize pool per match, winner take all. You're going to see more effort than you would even in the Open Cups, where like FaZe and SSG were kind of like battling between each other to see who was going to get that Pool D spot, the number 1 seed in Pool D. So they had some stuff at stake for those Opens. Optic didn't. I mean, we didn't even see them enter until number 7. Up until then, it was just like the hybrid rosters with whoever wanted to play between them and Shopify. So there wasn't any purpose. And even when they entered and they won, there wasn't anything really at stake for them other than a little bit of prize money and some extra points that they don't need. Like they're locked in. They're fine. So I think here, like, yeah, sure, all those players are getting paid, I'm sure a good amount on both teams, but like $1,000 is still $1,000, and pride is still pride. Plus, you want to be able to go to that LAN at the Shopify HQ in LA at the end of the season, and you need to be a top 6 team in the Pro League after all of your matches. So there's a lot at stake. That's good practice at the middle beginning of September to get ready for the FaZe major, to get ready for Worlds. Like,
yeah,
it's important.
There's a lot that goes into it. And also too, like, you're missing a key point, with these $1,000 matches. It's the Steam summer sale right now. Like, I'll take an extra $250 and just buy 500 games with it. You know what I mean? So the money definitely is nice. I'm never been one to scoff at a free $250. So Lots of matches, lots of bread going out to the boys, and yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm a little jealous. I wish I was doing it. That would be a lot of fun.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm old. But also the production, let's be real. LVT always crushing. Stoked that they were the ones that got the opportunity from Shopify to put this thing on. Where is Shopify though? Like, I feel like I haven't really seen or heard much from them. I know they're in this, obviously, seeing as they're hosting it, but have we scrimmed them recently? Are they still? Would you still consider them the second best team in the league? Like, have they taken a few steps back forward? Like, where are they at to you?
I think they're still the second best team in the league. I think that they've been having some struggles getting like and maintaining good scrims. I think for some reason it seems like they're having trouble like getting some of the top teams to scrim them. And I don't know if that's like I don't know what the reason of that is.
Yeah.
Especially because they're such like a good, strong team. I don't know if it's because their play style is a little bit more like ruthlessly aggressive, or if it's just because Frosty rechows everything like a demon, or I don't know what it is, but I know.
Do you think people don't want them to get better? Like, do you think that the other teams are trying to gatekeep them from their final form?
No, if anything, I think it's kind of similar to what we faced back in Gears, where people thought we weren't trying in scrims because of the way we played, because it wasn't like what was, quote unquote, the norm. But we played for the way we wanted to get better and didn't really give a damn about what was, quote unquote, norm.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that Shopify is kind of in the same boat. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all of that's wrong. Maybe Shopify really isn't trying, and teams are picking up on it and are annoyed by it, so they're blacklisting them. I don't know what it is. They're still scrimming good teams. We scrim them every other week. I know Envy scrims them. I know that I've seen them scrimming Ether. I don't know what the deal is. I just know that they're constantly posting, and Best Man's messaged me a few times seeing if like we can book some more dates for scrims and stuff like that.
That's great. Here we go again, though, Nick. Triple kill for Bound, but FaZe looking really good early on in this game. I know it's now the lead just changed, but FaZe no slouches whatsoever. Renegade, nice double kill there as well. Renegade 3 and 5. I think. Like, is there a key to being Optic? I don't know, but if I could guess, it would be never losing track of Renegade on the map, which is a damn near impossible task. But so far, he's, this is the problem with Optic. Like, Renegade, quote unquote, maybe struggling this game 4 and 6 to start things off, but then you have Formal 6 and 4 and Bound, 4 and 2 and Legend 5. Like, everybody else on the roster can step up when someone is having a little bit of a rough go. Now Rocket's in the hands of Renegade, so I'm guessing he's going to get some free picks here. 4-kill lead for Optic and climbing.
Yeah, this is really impressive from Optic. I'm liking the way they're moving around the map too. I don't know if anyone's noticed yet, and I wish we kind of had like an overhead view, like a mini map or something, but they're controlling spawns really well, which I preach to our team all the time is like something that's so important. If you know where they're spawning, like even if you're not in the number advantage or whatever, if you know where they're spawning, you kind of know where your safe zone is and where you can play. And so you can make the map a little bit more mixy because you know what space you have to take and give up. And Optic is doing a really good job of like going, okay, they're all spawning blue, likely blue elbow, and then they kind of cut the map and collapse on those spawns. Or they're all spawning over here, they're probably going to push sniper, and they're all collapsing on sniper from different angles. And that's why we've seen them take a 6-kill lead in the last minute.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, like, it's really cool to watch. Optic doesn't really look like they're very concerned with like holding position. They're just like getting in the mix on every fight. Like we saw Bound earlier fly off Cat to try to help out on the guy that was on the opposite elbow. Like plays like that, they're kind of just down to throw themselves into the mix no matter where they are. They'll give up their position to make the team fight go in their favor. And yeah, it's really impressive to watch. Like so many players all over the middle of the map. You're like, how are they not getting shot? It's like because they have so much presence, together. Really, really cool to watch. And oh my goodness, that was a disgusting triple. And just like that, Renegade is now 10 and 9.
Yeah,
one of the top fraggers on his team is still going. And now Optic, this is where they pull away, right? 36-26. This was a tied game in the 20s, and now it's looking like a blowout.
Yeah, I think Optic is doing a really good job of kind of baiting and switching. They're not over chasing like one shots. They're not over committing to fights. Like they're always giving themselves an out so that if they do die or if they do get into a position where they're on the back foot, it's not going to snowball into them being like 4 dead and cycled.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most map control we've seen out of FaZe in this moment right here, kind of having Optic all trapped at this red basement, red elbow area. And even here, this push is going sourly wrong. They trade 3 for 2, but now they're trying to find Formal. They're trying to fight this kill. And then he's positioned himself well.
Traded
Like,
out
he
immediately.
lived long enough. His spawners
Yeah.
are there to clean it up. So that's really good work out of Optic. And those are the little things that separate teams like Optic from, I mean, hell, even out of like the top 2, when you start going into 3rd, 4th, 5th, so on and so forth. That's the little things that separate them.
Yeah, but as we were saying that, I mean, FaZe just had a little bit of a run, but unfortunately go 3 down there. It's going to be 4 down here. So right when they started showing some signs of life, Optic snuffs that out. And look at this. They're all over the spawn. Look at how they're just flooding the base on every side. The intel then comes in that it's switching sides. Renegade is going to be prepped and ready for anyone trying to leave red base here. The way that Optic just collapses is honestly horrifying. Like, they put you in the blender so fast. How about more Snakebite though? Snakebite been playing good so far the first 2 games of this series, and I'm glad to see that for him. I know he's also he's in the process of moving to Florida. I don't know if he's there yet or not. But that's a big life decision, and when you got stuff like that going on, it's hard to be in the mix on your practice, on your grind like you normally would be. So great to see him kind of a little bit more in the form that I would expect out of him. Lucid, disgusting shots there though. What is it, 49-43? Yeah, this is gonna be over here in a second. But FaZe, I mean, signs of life throughout, but not able to string it together for long enough to really have an impact on the game or potentially win it. So Optic go up 2-0, looking good so far in this first Pro League match.
Yeah, I think Optic is going to 4-0 this series, and that's not a slight at FaZe at all. I think if FaZe didn't choke that first map, it might be a little bit more competitive. I would still have Optic favored, obviously, but because FaZe choked, now they got to bounce back from that. And these are all, veteran players, world championship winning players, but bouncing back from a 3-1 choke to lose 4-3 like that, it's tough for anybody, veteran, world championship ring holding or not. Like, you're gonna struggle with that mentally, and that just gives more momentum, more hype, more energy, more power to already really strong and scary Optic roster. Let's see, map number 3 is going to be Aqua Bomb. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think there's really a chance for
This is
FaZe
a
to take this
blender.
one.
Yeah, this is a blender game type right here. Like, it is so easy. This is probably the easiest game type in Halo Infinite to force spawns on, in my opinion, because as far as I'm aware, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you know way more about this than I do, I think in Aqua Bomb the P1 spawn is taken out, like the emergency spawn. Like, you don't get that. Like, it's pretty much fridge or util or flag. Like, I don't really see folks getting that emergency like advanced spawn P1. So like, you're always spawning in a back corner of the map somewhere, getting absolutely railed on. And like I said, this is the easiest game type, in my opinion, to trap spawns on. So we'll see if Optic makes this quick. Or on the flip side, like, maybe that could work in FaZe's favor, where a little bit more simple, a little bit more just the normal details, the normal Halo stuff can score you a spawn kill, and less ways for Optic to escape. So we'll have to wait and see which team this benefits more.
Yeah, I definitely think this benefits an Optic. I mean, I have seen the old FaZe roster go from being down 0-2 with like a minute and a half left to winning 3-2. So they're never out, and that was still, the same Penguin and the same Trippy. So maybe there's a chance, but Optic is just such a strong team that I think FaZe needs to do something crazy. And you're right, that emergency spawn that you were calling, like, unless it's in a Slayer, that's not an option. You're going to be in one of those corners. That's why we see those kind of wacky spawn clips that you see on Twitter every now and then. I know Cycles posted them before, where like they're spawning literally next to you in line of sight. And it's just because a game in objective modes, flag and bomb, won't spawn you out on this map. So yeah, it's interesting, but it looked like FaZe did get kind of the control off the opening break, had Optic pressured, but Optic, even under pressure.
That's what you did there.
even under pressure, it's like they're on the back foot, but are they really? You know what I mean? Are they on the back foot, or are they just kind of setting up a trap?
Yeah, but FaZe dropping 3 down, and here 3 untraded kills is actually absolutely massive. Lucid going to move this bomb in a hurry here. Last bullet of bound is taken out, but look at, here comes the spawns that we talked about spawning in on the fridge side. Lucid set up. Oh, wait, did someone split out to util? Yeah, Renegade split out to util and got 2, but the arm does come in, and I don't know, Nick. FaZe going up 1-0. I'm feeling kind of good now about FaZe's chances here in this game.
I'm glad that FaZe was able to get a bomb down and keep this competitive. I don't think that's going to change the end results. I think I mean, even in that bomb plant, they had a blunder, right? Like they
Yeah, how does
didn't
Renegade
block
spawn Util
gen
there?
spawn.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a massive. Like everyone was prepped for them to force spawn them fridge, and they left somehow gen open. And here we go,
Oh, the
counter
bomb
bomb
toss.
plant going in right now. Toss going in. They know they have to go in through P door to jump.
Oh,
Renegade didn't drop bomb though.
the money nades.
Oh, but they're three
Oh, the
dead
three
again.
dead again. Yeah, and the bomb isn't done being disarmed, so it's going to go back up 80% armed. I don't think. Can you make it that high?
Yeah, you can.
Wow, you can go all the way up over. See, you learn something new every day, and that's a bomb plant. So yeah, I mean, the second Optic got even a hint of control, they immediately punish FaZe, and FaZe still kind of in the blender. Like players still in their base, Bound still doing things.
Oh,
Going to take down Penguin there as well. Bound still alive in the window. I do love the subtle advancements in the meta on this game type already. The throwing the bomb up, right? Like not taking the long routes. And now Legend back in the base with Camo. He knows they're going to be spawning on the fridge side and trying to work back into the P door. So nightmare situation. I don't like the nade toss early, especially not looking there. But Lucid going to lose that one. 2 down for each team, though. This is looking like it's going to be a reset here. Trippy with a nice double kill. Last player alive is Bound. Renegade coming off spawn in flag. So FaZe weather the storm. They don't. Optic doesn't go back to back, at least not yet. So FaZe not wanting to immediately just roll over and die here.
yeah. Optic only goes back to back in COD champs, but so far not in bomb plants for this Aqua bomb. Which can we just give like a shout out to the Optic COD team? That was sick. And I was actually rooting. It's been a long time since I've rooted for Optic COD, but I was rooting for Optic COD because I wanted to see Merc get called up and then win COD champs.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's his third event or something, you know, as a rookie, and he's winning champs. That's insane. Also, like, I really don't want to come across offensive in saying this, but like, Merc making Shotzzy look pedestrian for a majority of that tournament. I mean, Shotzzy went crazy on that Sunday, not gonna lie, but like, Merc being the star of the show, like I didn't think I would ever see the day where there's like a superstar that like kind of outshines Shotzzy in that sort of environment. And that just solidified for me. I was like, Optic is never going to drop this kid. Like, I think he might be an Optic lifer. Like, we might be watching the next formal, over here. But yeah, I also was rooting for them just because of the year they've had. The fact that they like almost didn't even qualify for champs, and then to have all the roster changes, all the dark. Like, we both remember like when they in the Pro Series where they had like 3 or 4 weeks in a row where they got 3-0'd by everybody. Like they hadn't won a game. It was like insane. So to go from that to oh my goodness, Renegade to dominating champs. Oh, here's the fourth. There's the over. Why would you leave his screen?
Oh, give him the kill tack.
Kill tack, perfect. Okay, Tools.
Keep going.
Let's
keep going.
Keep your voice there, Tools.
Renegade
absolutely dominating there. I respect. Who was that came out of fridge and like got perfected for the kill tack? I respect that play. You say, come get it. I'm going to give you a chance. Like, I'm going to fight you. If you 5 me, cool. Like, whoever that was, I want to give them props for allowing the clip to happen by actually being a man about it and saying, I'm going to fight you and try to stop this clip from going even further. Unfortunately, Renegade just better there in that situation, gets the perfect 5 for the kill tack. But again, like, it's impressive. Absolutely. But there's only one place in the world where that guy could spawn. Here's Renegade in the base again, another nightmare scenario.
And he knows now
there
he
it is
again.
There's the triple. Now he's going to turn towards Gen. Yep, there's 4 dead. He's ready for it. He doesn't have a nade though, unfortunately, but he knows they're in here. Comes in. He's going to take down another player, bro. Like, goodness. Like, yeah. What's his stats this game? Let me see. Renegade is currently 18-7, bro. Like, 4 dead again. Where are they spawning now? They're going to spawn fridge side this time because Util was blocked. This is a farming, Nick. We're witnessing a farming.
Yeah.
And it's hard, dude. Like, we saw FaZe arm one, but ever since then, it's been Optic gas pedal. Yeah, nowhere to go, no room to breathe. You see them pushing the spawns and splitting the spawns on purpose so that players don't get reinforced. It's just kind of textbook here. Now we're gonna see Renegade set up for more P spawns. He knows that there's a guy there, but no, he's gonna rotate back to Util. Love that play. But Trippy boxes him up. Put pause on him. Nice job, Trip. 2 down. But as soon as one guy's killed out of your base, another one just takes his spot. Formal now in the base, turning everyone in the back. So that's got to be so frustrating to play against.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is just a blunder. The only thing I can think that might help FaZe here is they're constantly spawning and going backwards in their base. Like
I was
maybe
just
if,
gonna say that. Yeah.
yeah, maybe if two of them spawn up and like know that their teammates can stall long enough that there's not going to be a plant, they can break out and maybe get top mid control and then look back and help like get a new angle on the fight or just stop the pressure from Optic. Because right now it's like, you know, they're bailing buckets of water
Right
out
now
of the
it's
ship,
game
but
over,
the hole's
Nick.
too big. Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
Wow. I think those guys both spawned in the flag. I'm not gonna lie. I think they spawned in the flag and threw the bomb out. But yeah, I agree 100%. The sinking ship analogy is perfect. Like, it's not even like they've got buckets. It's like they don't have buckets and they're trying to like plug the holes with their fingers, you know. but every time they plug a hole, like two more, you know, pop up, and you're just like, ah, like. So, you know, Optic showing why they're the best team in the game. They're making players like Penguin and Trippy and Lucid. It looks like a matchmaking game, like the level of domination. They're outslaying Optic FaZe right now by. Oh, dude, that's a lot. That's 6, 13, 24, 21 kills. They're outslaying FaZe by. That's ridiculous, dude. Like in a game that's been going for 8 minutes, they're outslaying them by 21. So they're getting an average of 3 more kills per minute than FaZe are. That's not a situation you want to be in if you're FaZe. However, on the flip side of things, I will say they're still only up by 1. So if FaZe could somehow get something going, Snakebite's got camo. Like, I would say this is the moment of the game for them. I think if he doesn't make a massive player here with this camo, I think Optic end this game in a hurry. Did Formal just get that kill from window to window?
Yeah,
Oh no, he killed the guy P.
Somewhere.
He got it from window to P, but we just saw Formal shooting across the map and then get a kill in the kill feed there. Snakebite now in the base with camo, but that's so frustrating, right? Like, you finally get through with camo, but they've advanced so well and so quickly that there's no, and now he's all the way to mid map and there's still no one from the fight because now they've advanced all the way into his base. So by the time he got to their base, they went to mid map. By the time he got to mid map, they were already in his base. So
yeah,
just the speed of Optic there, the efficiency, their ability to take forward progress. Lucid with a little double of his own here. Here comes Trippy trying to claim this player in the fridge, going to take down Legend. Formal coming off spawn now, channeling out to the P. Trippy does some good damage and stays alive.
Yeah, really well done. And honestly, as rough as that looked for FaZe and as, you know, well as Optic played that, did you notice that because Snakebite was top mid, even though they had 2 alive, even though they already had bomb in FaZe's base, they couldn't quite make any real like pressure moves because they had that guy. Even if he didn't have camo, that guy Snakebite being top mid right there and approaching from that angle. I don't like that he left top mid. He just gave up a lot of space in order to like chow a fight that his teammates were going to come off spawn and chow. I feel like he could have just sat there car 3 or top mid. Oh,
the disrespectful bomb beatdown for the plant for the game. That's a 3-0 series lead for Optic. Oh man. Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm curious because I think the dilemma is this, Nick. Like, and I would agree. Like, in my mind, I would want to see more forward progress, especially when you're getting blended in your base. Like, someone's got to try to get to top mid or P or out, you know, to the front base, whatever. Right? Like, take space. I think the dilemma is that if you don't send all of your strength back to your base, if you only send 2 and not 3 or 4, like, those guys are dying. Like, they're not going to have a chance to trade that fight out, right? Like, that's me trying to justify it in my head. Like, I'm trying to figure out why they would play that way. And to me, it just seems like Optic has overwhelming strength in your base, so you have to send someone back, right? And if you only do 1 or 2, you're not going to stop that guy from being planted. And when you get that space on the map to top mid or wherever, like, you can't really kill the bomb guy. Like, you can help kill the other guys, but with the pillars and everything else in the base, it's possible to kind of cut that guy off from having a real shot at stopping you. So that's me at least trying to think it through, but I would love to hear your take on that and why you think that was kind of the what FaZe resorted to, just kind of bum rushing their base over and over and over again.
Well, I think there's a lot of variables into play, right? And I'd have to go back and look at it to see like exactly where the bomb was or where they had died and where Optic members were. Because Optic was doing a really good job of pressuring and splitting the spawns, which makes making any kind of play even that much harder. But I think if you can, without the bomb actively being armed, if you can like get 1 or 2 of you to just double push, like let's just say you spawn Fridge and you double push up P Street, or even push through P1 and go to their side and come up P Street, or anything that just makes the map a little bit more mixier and makes Optic worry about what you're doing. If they're not actively arming the bomb, that distraction towards that top mid player and maybe even the gen player who's going to be like looking down towards P1 and going like, oh, they just crossed over to our side P1 or whatever. that allows the two next spawners to then go push in the flag without getting shot the whole way across from Fridge up into P-Door. Maybe even making that jump if they need to, like, desperate if the bomb starts getting armed. And then that split focus is what allows you to have that avenue back into the map. But if you don't split their focus and you're all just like, all right, here we go, Congo line, everybody out towards P-Door, then you're just like, you ever play the old Duck Hunt game on like Super Nintendo?
Of course.
Yeah,
course.
that's what you're
Yeah.
doing. Like Optic
line
is
up and
just
knock
gonna
'em
lay
down.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got somebody on Optic watching P-Door. You've got somebody arming the bomb and watching P-Jump. You got somebody top mid who's saying they're all going in P-Door, or they're one's going front base and flanking through Gen or whatever. And that's gonna just make it easier for Optic to lay down fire and do their thing. And FaZe is just gonna look like what we just saw.
Yeah, that was kind of brutal to watch, honestly, after that first plant. This play, by the way, Renegade shot 70% that game. If you
That's
didn't
insane.
know,
Yeah, and that doesn't help, right? Like we can talk strategy all we want, but like Renegade is like
it was Snakebite. By the way, sorry, it was Snakebite.
Yeah.
Respect Snakebite. He said, "I want the smoke. Come get it if you want to get the clip."
Yeah,
Granted,
props to
Renegade
that.
did get the clip. Anyways, back to what you're saying.
real honor right there. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the other side of it too. Is like you can talk strategy, you can talk theory all you want, but you also need players to just like hit their shots, get their kills, that kind of thing too. And I mean, if you have Renegade doing that, like, you know, you can have the greatest strategy in the world, but it's not going to really matter.
Yeah, it's a hard ask. Really, really hard ask. Man, so 3-0 Optic
Everybody in
there.
the chat, forehead placement. What's up, cherished? What's going on? I don't even know how to say your name. T-Foct.
T-Fox.
Had to be real careful with that one.
Absolute homies in the chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Yeah, I these are those reps though. When we were talking earlier about the Pro League, like we're seeing FaZe get these reps, Optic getting these reps, Shopify's getting these reps. Cloud9 is not going to be getting these reps.
Yeah,
and you got to imagine that their scrim, scrim frequency is going to go down because of this Pro League. Like a lot of these teams aren't going to be down to throw down 20 games after hopping off a Pro League match. I would imagine most of these teams are going to run their Pro League matches and get off. You know what I mean? So definitely a big deal not getting let in, and we'll see how it affects them in the future, especially in that main qualifier in 2 weeks on the 12th. Leading into Salt Lake. Salt Lake's coming up fast, Nick. I'm getting more and more excited by the day, especially with the position our roster's in. What's our schedule for this Pro League looking like? When are our matches starting? Who we playing when? And yeah, give the people the intel.
So our first match is actually this Wednesday versus Omit. Hindsight 2020. I feel like that should have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
Since we like having the two teams that just played each other in the qualifier play each other for the first Pro League match, but I think that'll be a good match. So that's Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. And then just going through in order. Actually, I have too many calendars open on Google Calendar, so I can't actually see. So Omit this week, TSM next week, Shopify the following, SSG the following. Then we have the major, and then we come back from the major, have a week off, Optic, then FaZe, then Envy, and then Gears Reloaded comes out, and so Billy and I will
so
be
you
on
and
that.
Mental are retiring, so
Yeah.
at that point.
So if we don't win Salt Lake, it's chalked.
That's crazy. Gears is coming to PlayStation. You guys are gonna have I want Halo on PlayStation so bad, so I could have all like the matches again. Like have the extra eyeballs on the game and have the playlist be popping again. Like I'm excited for you Gears folk who have been, to be frank, quite mistreated at times and forgotten about. So.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are getting some love, and we'll have a little bit of a little revival, a little bit of a renaissance there. Maybe I'll hop on some Gears and let you carry me, show me your wall bounce skills. But
I'm a bot.
So in terms of the format, is it basically everyone plays everyone on the schedule, and then at the end of that, whoever has the 6 best records are going to LA? Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, I believe so. I know originally they wanted to do 2 splits, but I think they condensed it into one just overall round robin. Everyone plays everyone once, so you have 7 matches, and the top 6 teams are the ones that get travel coverage to the LAN event September 11th through 13th at the Shopify HQ.
Nice.
And all matches are best.
That's in LA.
I'm
gonna have to go to that.
Yeah, it'll be cool if they like have an audience or something. I don't know. I know it's just at the Shopify HQ, so I don't know if it's like, kind of private, kind of like the FaZe event was.
Or audience or no audience, I'm staff, bro. What do you mean?
That's true, right? Like you're player
You
support.
know, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You're the
Like,
key holder. Like you
yeah,
should be there.
you know what I'm saying? I got the house keys, so I'm going. It's either going to be I get in, or we're going to have a very awkward situation there at the door. I don't know what to tell you. But catch me at the Shopify headquarters in LA.
Yeah, right. And the crazy thing is, like, you say the top 6 teams, but like because Halo is so close, obviously Optic is a shoe in.
Mhm.
Obviously Shopify is very likely a shoe in. But once you get outside of that, like maybe you'd say Space Station is a
SSG,
shoe in.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
lord, that was one round of oddball.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Optic is smacking right now. It was bad. We were blabbing on about whatever because honestly, it has not been a very competitive match after game one. I don't know if, well, I guess they trailed in bomb. I was gonna say I don't know if Optic has trailed this series after this, like the Slayer in the beginning, but they did trail in bomb for a split second. But
Yeah.
they've just been running away with this thing a little bit here. Formal makes the perfect read. Here it comes with gets the double. 2 more going down there.
Mm.
Will be dropped, but yeah, Optic. I think it was 100-0, or it might be like 101 or 100-2 or something to start that round one in ball.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is very one side. I expected this to be a little bit more competitive than it is just because FaZe has been looking really good lately. I know FaZe is kind of hit or miss online and they pull up different to the LAN events, and I expect the same for this roster, but still, this is a little bit more miss than I expected. And I don't know what really is going wrong. Like it because of the pace that Optic is keeping, it almost just feels like Optic is giving them something that they weren't quite ready for, if that makes sense.
To be honest, from my perspective, it goes back a little bit to what I was talking about earlier about it's the way Optic beats other teams. Like that first game was extremely competitive, but then Optic kind of ripped the heart out of FaZe, and they haven't looked the same since. Like if you're getting checked after game one, that's probably not a good sign. But it does speak to kind of the dominance, the finesse of this Optic gaming roster. And now we got Renegade with snipe in hand, and as someone that's been on the receiving end of these snipes for the better part of a decade, I can tell you right now, it is not fun when you have to call out, "Yo, Renegade got sniped."
Oh my
And here we go. Case in point, it is not a good place to be when this man has got sniper in his hands and is just he's doing whatever he wants on the map right now. If you see, he's playing rogue because he doesn't need any help.
Yeah, this is insane. And you can see, I mean, there's 13 points in this round, and you can see the objective time on the scoreboard. So that means, quick math, they got 5 points. FaZe got 5 points in round one.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it's not looking great. I mean, like right here, it's a 2v1 and Legend kills one and lives. Like it's stuff like that that like strategy goes out the window a little bit when it's just like the one shots are living and getting kills and then still living. It's tough. And like you said, Renegade getting sniper, I mean, that's just like almost like a punctuation point on the sentence of Optic is going to destroy us. Like if he's getting sniper and doing his thing, which realistically, like it's Legend and Bound doing their thing right now. Renegade was like, all right, guys, like I did my thing on Aquarius. Y'all got live fire. I'm just gonna go around. I'm gonna block spawns and put down damage. Y'all clean it up. I'll hold ball for 40 seconds, you know?
Well, this is the first roster that Renegade's been on in Infinite where it genuinely feels like everybody's on his level. And that's like, A, it's got to feel so good for him because it frees him up to play his game and not have to babysit. But B, it just it literally makes them look unbeatable at times because it's like he isn't the standout necessarily like in terms of like being head and shoulders above the rest of his roster. Like when you look at Legend, when you look at Bound, like you look at Formal, like it is unbelievably put together roster, and it makes sense as to why Formal wanted this team a while ago. To be honest, like they tried to get Renegade after year one or something like that, and it didn't work out. So it's wild to see kind of Formal's diabolical plans come to fruition. Like who let this man put together this roster? Like who sold these like Space Station, I'm looking at you, bro. Like, what were you guys doing? I mean, I get it. Like, they probably sold him for a pretty penny, but still, man, like, now you have no shot at winning anything ever again. Great job. You know, was the money really worth it?
That's messed up.
But
20, 11, and 15 for Bound, by the way.
31 kills he was a part of so far this game.
That's nuts. That's insane. That
participation is nuts. When everybody else is barely at 20 or less, for him to be at 31.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like his team has, other than his 20 kills, his team has 39 other kills. Like,
And 11 of those 39 he was in the mix for. So
Yeah.
if you really get rid of it, it's down to 28 kills that he wasn't a part of and 31 kills that he was. So like he's been a part of more kills for his team than not on the map.
He's got like a 55-60% like kill participation average. Like that's as I say that, Optic goes 4 dead. Okay, so
this is their moment.
93 points for Optic. Snakebite and Crew need to be like Iron Wall. That's what I call myself in rematch when I play goalie, by the way. I'm the Iron Wall. They need to be an Iron Wall for any of Optic's pushes right here. Being 3-stack top mid is not very iron out of them, though.
Yeah, that was not the move for him. Comes and gets a double.
Make it a triple. Anyone else?
Dead.
It's just what I
mean, look at the kill participation. Like the number one guy on FaZe, either you pick 19 is the number. 3 of them have 19 kill participation, and Bound is at 34. 34.
That's. I thought we were gonna have to go over showtime, and we're 10 minutes early. Like, what in the world? That was a stomp, man. I feel bad for FaZe. That was rough, and I like. That again, this is not like a knock towards FaZe. This is not like, oh, FaZe is trash. I don't like. This is nothing bad about FaZe. It's just like Optic are just looking different right now. I don't know.
Yeah, they came in. I guess breaks do help because they didn't play any of the opens. They came back for the open yesterday. Dropped one game the entire tournament, and now they come in here haven't dropped the game. They look just as good, if not better, than when they left, which is so messed up. How's that even a thing?
Good
yeah,
Lord.
Nick, I'm gonna need you to get in the lab and figure out how we're gonna beat this team, man, because that's a problem. We got championships we need to win, and they're getting in the way.
Yeah, right. Can anyone scratch Optic? Like, damn, man, they're gonna run away with the season, said Alex in the YouTube chat. I see, like, okay, so when I watch them play, right, like I see vulnerabilities, but the problem is those vulnerabilities are covered up just by individual skill. And I think that's what makes Optic so dangerous.
And the vulnerabilities, as their team has gone along, those vulnerabilities have been shorter and shorter in length. Like how long the vulnerabilities are. You know what I mean? It's like down to like split seconds now where they might be vulnerable, but they're not for very long.
Yeah, they're constantly improving, which I would say is different than the Optic of last season. They're less predictable, which is different than the Optic of last season. And then just like I said, the individual talent covers up a lot of those strategic vulnerabilities. Like the players will make quote unquote incorrect plays, but because they're so like this, right? Like because they can hit shots like that where they're falling the opposite diagonal direction and the player's moving on their screen and they still land the headshot.
Back of the headshot, by the way. Back of the headshot, yeah.
From an upper angle, which means you have less surface area to actually land the shot on. Like stuff like that is not stuff that comes down to strategy. That's just stuff that comes down to like these guys are so damn good. So then you have to be able to like match them blow for blow while also outstratting them. I mean, that's a really tall task. And right now, there's not a lot of teams who can answer that task. You have to catch Optic on a bad day. You have to give them all like the flu or something and then like make them get on main stage and play you. And even then, it's going to be tough. Like this is a scary team.
Well, my thing was like I was really excited going into this season because of all the team changes and roster shakeups. I felt like it was one of the most exciting off seasons we've ever had. My fear, however, and it's starting to become reality, was that like if you didn't catch Optic sleeping and get a tournament win within the first LAN or two, that then it would just be impossible. And it's starting to look impossible. Like they've won 2 tournaments on LAN coming from losers, and where it was like they were shaky at times, they were vulnerable, blah blah blah. They iced up, got it done. They're not looking shaky or vulnerable anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're looking like full form, like confident, like. Now we're just going to pound the entire event and drop maybe a game or two for the whole thing. Like, so they've become a problem now. Right. And so, I don't know what the answer is. I think you nailed it, Nick. I think it's just going to come down to, they have to have a bad day, and it's got to be like 2 or 3 of them have a bad day at once, because if one of them has a bad day, the other 3 are still good enough to win an event for you. So they're looking like powerhouses.
Yeah, they really are. I think, the interesting thing is, and this is, maybe copium, maybe me holding on to hope, but I think because of how we've seen the season play out so far, like Optic is very clearly the best team in the game right now. But we would have said that about Shopify going into the first major, right? and
They were like tied. Remember? Do you remember when we talked about it?
they
were
were
tied games
but
wise.
like,
But
yeah,
Shopify had won the opens. They did have the we would have said that. I'm going to agree with you. We would have said they were the better team.
but we saw how it turned out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into the next major, and Shopify even falls further from grace in that one. Optic, lower bracket round 1. Like, we had the misfortune of playing them in lower bracket round 1. So clearly, there is still like on and off days for all of these teams, and it's not like they are just purely indestructible. And I think the skill gap or the skill ceiling or the skill level, whatever you want to say, I think it's so competitive right now in Halo. Like, I think Omit can take maps off TSM. Omit can take maps off FaZe. And I'm just saying that because on screen right now we're seeing the seeding order.
Yeah.
They're the 8th seed. I can see them taking maps off these. Hell, I can see them taking a Slayer off Optic. You know what I mean? Like, if Optic isn't firing on all cylinders and Omit comes in hot like they played us in the qualifier, absolutely, I could see it happening. So I think there's still hope. If you're a Green Wall fan, obviously you're feeling great. Optic's looking dominant. They've got 2 championships under their belt, and they're poised for more. But I think if you're just an overall Halo fan, you're a fan of the action, or you're a fan of any of the other individual teams, there's still hope. It's not like it's not an insurmountable or a you can't overcome this green wall.
Yeah,
it's going to take work.
It's going to take work, and it's going to take
maybe a little luck.
Just about perfection. Yeah. I'm worried Shopify was in a honeymoon phase. Honestly, just feel like they haven't looked as strong since event 1. I mean, you're not wrong. But I will say, Alex, you don't necessarily get to see. I mean, maybe you have it. I'm just an idiot, but we don't really watch them scrim very often, and they still kind of smack people around in scrims quite a bit. I would still say Shopify is definitely like, one of the better scrimming teams in the league right now at the moment. But yeah, they definitely took a step back after. I mean, going into first event, even after first event, I believe they were still tied with Optic in games. They just lost to Optic in game, 5 of the reset or whatever it was in that event. Like, it was just nuts. But yeah, they've taken a step back, but I also think like they just haven't been as visible. Like, we don't see Shopify as much anymore. They didn't play any of the opens. Like, we're not really seeing them here yet. So they're still, in my opinion, probably the team that has a shot at beating this Optic roster, especially after I saw and I want to touch on this really briefly before we end the show, Nick, with Space Station this last weekend. Like, Space Station got their get back on FaZe, first of all, and looked really good. And I was like, man, Space Station might actually prove me wrong and be improving in a big way. And then they matched Optic, and Optic just like dog walked them. So Space Station not looking nearly as close to Optic as I was hoping they would.
So I want to ask you a question, as you are no longer Hunter JJX. You're King J.
Okay.
Just got smacked. First Pro League match on stream. It's your first outside of the open. It's your first day coaching, FaZe. What do you say to them?
I know what he probably said.
What do you say though?
What he said is different than what I say. I would go out and say, hey guys, like, remember, every loss is a lesson. What can we learn here?
Okay, what do you learn there? Don't chow renegade because you'll get the kill tack. Like,
no, I would say we gave up too much space on the map. We could have been better on our spacing. We could have been better on our spawn order, like how quickly we recognize those situations, who's doing what. But especially the spacing thing, I think for sure we did not have nearly the presence on the map that Optic did, and every time we gave them that space, they collapsed on us and were all over us on spawn. So we got to up our tempo, but also sometimes we got to let like if I'm a third guy and there's a team fight going on with 2 of my other guys, sometimes you gotta let bygones be bygones with those other 2 guys, and I gotta take space somewhere else on the map to make sure that we have that presence. So that would be my main thing. I could ask you the same question though. What are you saying to your squad right now if you just got absolutely slammed right like that by Optic?
Kind of the same thing. I mean, we got slammed on Saturday by Optic.
What did you say afterwards that you can share? That's not top secret.
Trying to think of what I can share and what I can't share. I mean, like, there's obviously, like, there's the copium Like you got to let the copium kind of come out from other players because everyone's going to say like, I didn't sleep well, I didn't do this, I should have had my protein shake, whatever. But I think like for me, right after we got slammed by Optic, the main thing I said was like, I think that's a really good series for us to go back and watch every single map. There's not a lot of times where we lose a series. Like for example, the Envy series. I don't think that is a good series for us to go back and watch and cover in detail, other than maybe Origin, because we're kind of weak on Origin right now, and that's one of our goals this week is to work on that. But you have to, like you said, take the lessons from the losses. If you're not taking lessons from the losses, then you're truly losing. And so you go back and study it. Like, go back and look at what went wrong. What flaws are they exposing, other than the fact that Renegade popped off, other than the fact that Bound popped off? What are the things that they exposed in terms of your strategy or in terms of your weaknesses that you can go fix so that it's better or closer next time?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that conversation, if you just sit there and only talk about the copium, only talk about the like, oh, if I had just won that 1v1, if that shot would have registered, if I wasn't lagging, shut that. You know what? Like that's how you lose.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
how you lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what needs to happen, and that's it's 4 really smart players. It's King J, who's a really smart player, or former player, I would say, and now coach. They're gonna do that. Like, we know they're gonna do that. So they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine.
I think they'll be fine as well. And knowing King J, he probably said, "Great job, guys. That was a close one." Oh man, I think they'll be fine. I think it's interesting to point out. We mentioned the individual talent of Optic and how strong all 4 of those players are. And the one time FaZe looked like they might have a shot was when Lucid was absolutely going crazy, right? You don't want to have to rely on like your superstar player having to play for 2 or 3 people like in order to have a shot, right? Like, how can we raise the tide here so like all the ships are lifted, right? Like, so that everyone is dominating the map, because that's what it looks like when you're watching Optic. It looks like everyone's just dominating the map, doing whatever they want, like doing their thing. Obviously, it's a lot more calculated than that, but they all have that kind of confidence to make their play. Whereas I don't really feel that from FaZe. I don't feel like any one of them could just go off on any section of the map and completely lock it down on their own. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, I think
I don't know how you fix that.
If you look at the FaZe roster, and even before like this new version, I even said it on a show. I liked that Trippy and Lucid separated as a duo, because I felt like Trippy stepped up to the plate and wasn't kind of in Lucid's shadow as like the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Now that they're back together, it feels like Trippy has kind of stepped back again. And so I think Trippy needs to go back to what he was doing when Donnie and Falcated were on the team. Like, be a star character, be a star role in this team, because the way the FaZe roster is built out right now, Lucid is I would say arguably a star player, right? Like, and when I say star player, I mean like one of those pop off players, like a Bound, a Legend, a Renegade. You know what I mean? Lucid is arguably one of those. Snakebite has his moments for sure, but I wouldn't say that's his role on the team. I wouldn't say that's really Penguin's role on the team, at least historically. And Trippy hasn't been really in that role as long as I've seen him with Lucid. Whereas you look at Optic, and they, like I said, they have 3 players who are in that role, and even Formal can step.
I was gonna say, even freaking Formal, it's like, he's been a superstar in esports in general on every team he's been on. You know
Formal
what I mean?
Championship Sunday in in Dallas at DreamHack Dallas was built different. He was hard carrying, but he was doing his thing.
No, 100%. He was literally inflicting his will on the map and on the matches.
And I've seen, like, I would make that more in my mind comparable to like Snakebite. Like, they have the potential to do that, but they don't need to. That's not their role. They can, it's just not their role. And so you look at FaZe, whose role is it going to be to step up, and why isn't it happening? Are they not coordinated? Are they not setting up those players to have success? Is it a strategy thing? Is everyone playing a little bit too passive, a little bit too calculated? Like, one of the things Ryan said to us, or the guys, when we were going over how we wanted to play the game, he's like, here's the ideal scenario, but also like, look at your screen, play Halo. It's not always going to be ideal. And like, That's a really big, important thing in Halo. There's so many variables that you can just not account for in the moment. You kind of just have to trust your instincts and play Halo sometimes with the general concept of what is the right move, where's the right place to be. And so I think FaZe has that understanding of Halo. We're just not seeing the star power really shine. And I think once we see the star power really shine, it won't look that one-sided because we saw what Recharge looked like.
I think I figured it out though, Nick.
Okay.
I think I figured it out for FaZe.
Yeah.
If I'm King J after that match, I'm getting everybody in the call and saying, "Look, boys, we got to move to Texas."
Aren't they already in? I guess Penguin's not in Texas, right?
Penguin is in Seattle. Lucid is in Florida.
Lucid's in Florida?
Lucid lives in Florida.
Oh.
Trippy is from SoCal. I don't know if he lives here anymore or if he moved to Texas. He might have moved to Texas. And then Snakebite is moving to Florida, currently in New Jersey or already in Florida. They don't have enough Texas on their team.
Yeah. I mean, that is hard when you go against 4 Texas in Optic and you have 0 Texas. But,
Texas buff isn't going to change that series though from a 4-0 to a magically you winning in your favor. I'm just throwing a joke out there, but it is a factor. Like Optic is a really strong online team for sure, but they've backed it up with LAN performances as well. So you can't like just completely negate it. But I do think that it factors in a little bit.
And I think that's true too when you see FaZe level up on LAN. Like when they go from getting beat by us in scrims and we get top 12 at Dallas to them getting top, they got second, right? So it's like
Penguin on LAN is nice, bro. Penguin on LAN is real nice.
Yeah, because he takes the training weights off. He's like Goku coming out of the hyperbolic time chamber, man. Like he's ready to go. He's put in all of his heavy work. But I think this was a really interesting start to the Pro League in terms of just it was fun to watch. It's fun to see Optic do their thing and look really good. It's a little scary as a competitor of Optic, but it's fun to watch as a spectator. I wish the match had been closer. I was excited how this Recharge was going, and I liked what I saw at a FaZe to begin with, especially Lucid. We just need to see a little bit more of it, and I think we'll see more exciting results for FaZe in the future.
Yeah, I'm excited to continue the Pro League as well. It's fun for me and you though. Like you and I were crushing episodes of Opening Break with no new Halo anything to talk about. Now we're gonna have no shortage of Halo matches and news to cover and go over. I mean, we even barely got to scratch the surface on the Open, so we might have to. I don't know. It's gonna be a 3-hour show before we know it, Nick. But yeah, absolute blast to get a chance to jump in and watch party with you, and looking forward to doing more of it.
Yeah, me as well, good sir. Me as well. All right. We're over time. The match is done. Pro League's done for the day. Next match will be on Wednesday, us versus Omit. Hunter, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say before we end the show? I know we talked about potential segment ideas. Do you want to bring that in? You want to save that for next week? What are you feeling?
I'll bring it in while it's still fresh and it's a little relevant. So I've had this idea, chat, and you guys can let me know, if you enjoyed it or not. But I want to bring up the idea of the hot seat, right? And Nick has famously gone viral on Reddit for putting a calling out Boo Boo Doo Boo, and I would say I did the same in the last episode. So
You've done it more.
I probably have done it more at this point, but I didn't end up on Reddit for it, so I'm good.
True.
Yeah, fun new segment in the hot seat, and I would say for a while now, Boo Boo Doo Boo has been in the hot seat, but I'm actually. After his performance this past weekend in the Open Cup, Cloud9 popping off, getting third, I believe, I'm taking Boo Boo Doo Boo out of the hot seat, and I'm going to be placing Snakebite in that spot. Now, it doesn't mean I think he should get dropped or anything like that. I just think he could rise to the occasion a little bit, and I think it would benefit his team. He really struggled in the Open this last weekend, and I hate to see that because I know he's an unbelievable player and can bring so much to the roster. So hopefully when all the moving and everything else settles, we'll see the Snakebite that we know and love. But for now, Snakebite, you're in the hot seat. That'll do it for this episode of Opening Break. As always, Ashes and Hunter JJX joining you guys. You can find us on socials as well as doing this show here every single week. We want to thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. Be sure to tune into the Pro League this week. Nick said Wednesday, Complexity. We're playing our first match against Omit, so we'll see you guys in the chat. We'll be cheering them on. With that being said, that's Ashes. I'm Hunter JJX, and we're signing out. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
See ya.